Hi, we just finished meeting tonight for the intonation practice on Wednesday, February 24th. And we started with, instead of the spreadsheet, I was showing this program called WASP, which is a free download. And to remind you, the bottom of the spreadsheet on the third tab, there's resources for practicing listening and speaking. And this program is free. It's a free download from University College London. And it is only for PCs. So that is the reason I have a parallel program on my Mac to run Windows to run this program. I'm waiting for somebody to make a Mac version. That would be awesome. There's also an online version, so you don't have to download anything. And this one is from the same department there. It shows the amplitude as well as the pitch, and that's very helpful if you need to control your volume, if you're using extra volume as well as pitch. And there's a phone app called Voice Analyst, and it does the same thing as WASP. It shows the change in frequency as you speak. It also shows volume. I don't know why it's on two screens instead of putting them on top of each other, but it's at this website, it's available for Apple and Android. So we started with something else, but I'll start with this because it's on my screen. The pattern of English, this is frequency, high to low, 500, 100. And the pattern of English has this pattern starting high and going low, high and going low. And this is why English requires taking a deep breath to get started. You're going to start with a higher pitch and keep going and speaking on your breath. And when you're done with the sentence, you end up down. The pitch comes down. And the important word to emphasize, this will play. I'm going to zoom in so you can see this pattern close up. And hopefully it'll play. Ah. Ah. Okay, it's choppy. Getting some computer interference, but this is from the movie Legally Blonde, the graduation speech. And she's saying, on our very first day at Harvard, very, very is higher in pitch, and she steps down. Very first day at Harvard. Where you see these long stretched out lines, that's where she's stretching the vowels. A very wise professor quoted Aristotle. Again, very is an adverb that's more likely to be emphasized because you're adding extra emphasis to something, not just wise, but very wise. And quoted Aristotle. So this is what happens over and over again with each of your thought groups. You don't have to think about speaking in sentences, you just think about your idea. If you're not done with your whole idea, it's okay for you to go up. After this, I'm going to the store and then I'll go home. I'm going to the store and then I'll go home. So having some visual feedback is really helpful to match what you think you're doing. You might think you're going up or down, but maybe you're actually not. So to have some objective feedback to visualize what your voice is actually doing is a good way to put together what it sounds like, what it feels like, what it looks like, and give you control to make it your voice do what you want it to do. So let's go back to the sentences we started with. We didn't have very many because I talked a lot at the beginning. I'm sorry. This looks like Berkshire, and maybe in England it would be, but in America, the unstressed syllable, the shire changes to sure. So Berkshire, Berkshire, and avenue. And R from Berkshire will connect to the A. So it will really sound like Berkshire Avenue, Berkshire Avenue. Have a blast. Have a blast. Have a blast. The vowel is a in both have and blast, so you should really be opening a lot. Walk down memory lane. Not a lot connects here. And remember that walk doesn't have an L. You can just leave it out and say walk, and you don't have to make a k. Walk. I should put that in there. Just put that little mark to say you can hold your tongue in the K position, walk, without releasing the k noise. Walk down memory lane. And instead of memory, which is fine to say, it's not wrong, most people shorten it and make it memory. I should say memory. Walk down memory lane. How long has it been since we last saw each other? How long? When you have a question that's a how or who, what, why, when, where, you start high with the question word and you start going down. And then if there's an important word that is the point of your question, you can go back up on it. And in this case, last is going to be important, but instead of saying that T, we'll just drop it and connect the S's. How long has it been since we last saw each other? Last saw. Don't even worry about the T. Last saw each other. Each other will connect. How long has it been since we last saw each other? That's it. That's all the sentences, phrases we had. And words. So I put these over here individually so you could see the vowel in each one. Berkshire. 2 syllables. Stress on the first one. Berkshire. Avenue. I should put it over here, but I want you to look at how does it sound, because that's completely different than what it looks like, especially for the next one. Avenue. Now this one looks very long, looks like a lot of letters, a lot of different sounds, but really it just breaks down to 3 syllables. And the first vowel, the stressed one, is w, like took. So I had to spell it with a U because there's nothing else I could use to represent the sound without using phonetic symbols. So remember, this is took and good. So instead of oo, where your tongue is high in the back, is a little lower. This is who took. Same as good and book. So w, not woo, w. Worcestershire with no R in the middle is easiest for me. Worcestershire. Or you can say Worcestershire. Or you can the last one, Shire. And I spelled it shy with an ER. Worcestershire. Worcestershire. And the only time I ever use this word is with sauce, Worcestershire sauce. I think I'm getting the hiccups, so I might go faster. 7, craveable. It sounds like 3 syllables. Craveable. And the vowel is a stress syllable is cray, A. So your tongue has to rise, A. And this one is very weird because it has a B that we don't say, and the T changes to a D, or it just disappears. So you have choices. You can say it with 2 syllables, subtly, subtly, or 3 syllables, subtly, subtly. 9, don't say the T, just say often. And the looks like an O, but sounds like ah, often. 10, you can say with the B, that B changes to B because it's not stressed. So you can say beguile or beguile. It's not stressed, so it should be shorter than the guile. That'll be stretched out. And guy, your tongue rises and then comes down. Beguile. Countryside. Blocking. 1, 2, 3. Countryside. And the stressed vowel is as in up. Controversy. The C-O-N sounds like ka. Controversy. Controversy. And 13, I have to go clear over here to 4 syllables. Photographer. 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 Dun, 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 dun. Photographer. I better look this up real quick if my computer will do something quickly. Is it a verb? If it's a verb, it's compound. So it would be compounding. But can it also be an adjective? Compound. Okay, so the adjective has stress. Compound. Where did I put it here? I need to add that adjective. And I only think of it as a verb. So compounding. So if it's the verb, the stress is on how. And because we don't stress a COM, it just changes to K. Compounding. Or you'll hear people say compounding. Compounding. Wrong one. If it's the adjective, it'll be in the first syllable, compounding. 1, 2, 3, compounding. This one, I also had to look up because I wasn't sure. I guess I should put both ways. S, it can be S shoe or S shoe or S skew. So we had people that said all different ways, and they're all correct. The most common one was shoe, S shoe, or S chew, or S skew. Take your pick. And the last one, these both look like O's, but they don't sound like O. The first one sounds like ah, and the second one sounds like So it sounds like bottom, bottom. That's it. Thank you for joining tonight, and I hope to see you another time, Monday maybe, Tuesday, Wednesday. I hope to see you again. Bye.